the right intro, Gary.
Good evening, Keepers of the Cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and joined as always on a Thursday, my good buddy Digger Jim below me. How you doing tonight, Jim?
I'm doing good. I don't know if you noticed, you can see my whole room now because I have basically thrown that laptop that way and bought a whole new setup. And I got this big monitor from a little bro, and the only way
I was going to say, unfortunately, you're a little clearer.
Exactly. But yeah, it covers everything. And I mean, somebody was like, what happened to your setup? And I'm like, yeah, I went from, a little laptop right here to now it covers the whole.
I know it's affecting everything. Your J-Lo a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's okay.
See,
you gotta get a hat, bro. You gotta get a hat, dude.
Jim's got the light on. He's got his white hair. It glows. And we call it his J-Lo.
There you go.
His J-Lo.
All right, so
he does.
Our other special guest co-host of the evening and a semi-regular on my channel because I love to do to death. We have Metarog Roger. How you doing tonight, Roger?
I'm doing great. I love you. I love you back just as much, Gary. It's always a pleasure to be here with you and Jim, and of course, Hialeah up there. But thank you again for inviting me. I've been busy, but whenever I have a chance, I'd love to be on here with you guys.
Right. Well, I always like to have a special guest co-host on when, that's connected. And everyone always agrees that Roger's pretty special.
Yes, he is.
And our guest, of course.
That's my wife. She thinks opposite, but oh well.
Opposite. And our guest of the hour is none other than Hialeah Comic Bro. Raul, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing excellent. I'm excited to be here. And I just want to piggyback. Roger is very special. Roger, when I first started just appearing in chats, he's the first one that shouted me out because I'm super happy that I put Hialeah in my name for my channel because he knew right away, hey, this guy's from our neighborhood. Not too many people know where Hialeah is. And he was the first one that shouted me out. And that meant the world to me. And here we are. Me and Roger have hung out, went hunting, had breakfast, had a marvelous time. So excellent choice, Gary. Excellent choice.
Roger was one of the first him and Rod the Weekend were some of the first people to shout me out in the community.
And it means something, right? It's welcoming, man. It means a lot. It means a lot.
We gotta pay it forward, guys. We gotta pay it forward.
Definitely.
This community is too special for us to just have some kind of inside inert group. We have to make a dynamic, just like Gary's doing. Pay it forward, broaden it. The better, the more, the better, and the bigger.
That's right. Bring everyone from every comic corner in. Yeah. Well, it's amazing too, right? Because doing these shows, I'm like, I always think I'm going to run out of people to have on, and then I just keep discovering more people, and it's great because you get to meet someone new all the time, and someone that's been doing it as long as you have or longer, and you just haven't crossed paths with them yet. It's amazing how wide the web goes.
Yeah, it's nuts, right? It's crazy.
Right. All right, so as we like to do on this on my shows, Ro, what we're going to do is you're going to give the quick 2-minute synopsis on who you are, what your channel's about. We'll say hi to the crowd, and then we'll come back to you for your first book.
Great. Okay, I'm Hialeah Comic Bro. I'm Raul. I'm not in Hialeah, but that's where I grew up. I'm about maybe 10 minutes north of it now, but I still love it. It's Roger, would you say it's the Cuban capital of the world outside of Cuba?
Yeah, I'd say it is. It's an area that's north of city of Miami and south of North Miami.
Yeah.
East of Miami Springs, but it is a mecca of Latin culture. Let's put it that way.
That's pretty much what it is. And I started my channel, named it Hialeah. The bro is because me and my daughter are always saying bro, and it's like I said, I started in the chats. Roger shouted me out, and then few months after, I started making videos, not showing my face, kind of like Roger when he was doing it. And then I had a friend, 90 MF Comics, came over to my house, which was crazy, helped me set up because I'm not the tech guy. And I've been making videos ever since, and I've slowed down a lot, but I love coming to other chats, other channels, hanging out, talking comics or talking whatever. It's I've said, man, this is like our parents or our dads going to the bars and having a drink.
That's exactly it's a hangout.
Yeah, it's a hangout. And just coming and doing this, you know. Give me 1 second. I kind of messed. There you go. Okay, I'm back. All right. It's just a hangout, man. That's what it is. But you're doing it from your house. You could have a drink. You don't have to have a drink. You could leave when you want, and it's all good. And it's all good.
That's what I always say too. It's the best, right? Like, you know, because if you're out at the bar with your buddies, you still have to get home.
Yeah.
Once you shut off YouTube, you can just go to bed. Especially when you're our age, right?
It's perfect, man. It's awesome, dude. It's the best. It's the best. And like my wife is always saying, my God, you have so many friends now. You never used to have any friends, and now you're just always hanging out with your friends. And it's like from my room, and it's perfect.
Friends with like interest.
Yes,
correct.
Yes.
Yeah,
and quality
have
friends.
Conversations about things you all like together.
Yeah, which kind of as you're not sure who wants to talk about comics, you know. So it was like,
right. Or how
I
you
don't care.
food after you bring them up.
Yes, some. But I used to go to the shop, bring a comic. Oh man, awesome! I would read it, put it in a box. Now what? And then it was like that was pretty much it. And now it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's get to our chat. We're gonna say hi to everyone here tonight, and I hope Las Cruces is okay because I don't see him in the chat, and he's always first. So hopefully he's just out having fun. So wherever you are, Las Cruces, James, we're wishing you the best, sir. Hoping you're having a great night. Mm-hmm. So first in, Hope Collector, Kevin, nice to see you. Another great channel supporter. Thank you so much, Kevin. Chuck Hensey, who's had a great 10-1-1 and a great in the hot seat. Nice to see you, Chuck. Psychedelic Comics, good evening, sir. Paul's always here to support. Thank you so much, sir. Phil's Treehouse, an upcoming guest next week on the 10-1-1. Gore Vidal. And now, if you guys haven't checked out Gore's channel, another great guy in our community and the best reading voice on YouTube. This guy could read you bedtime stories and you would fall asleep like a nice little baby. Nice. His voice is perfect for how he reads.
And the knowledge.
Yeah. Knowledge. Yes. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's got some serious
There's
knowledge.
2 guys on YouTube I really think have encyclopedic minds, and that's Gore and Thorson. Oh, Roger too. That's 3. Roger and Thorson.
I'm not in their class. I'm not in their class.
Obviously not my mind. Jean Malot, greetings from Canada, sir. Nice to see you. And Cali Comics, nice to see you, buddy.
What's up, Cali?
Hey, Cali.
So what's funny is Cali's a big magic collector, and I finally found a magic cover he didn't have, but I don't want to send 1 book, so I'm trying to find 1 more magic cover he doesn't have. So I can at least send a couple. Beefit, how you doing tonight, sir?
Beefit.
Melodope Comics, nice to see you in tonight. Thank you so much for dropping in. And Mastodon's here. Donnie, how you doing tonight, sir? Good to see you.
Hey, Donnie.
And we got a full house. Actual Dracula. Adrian's here. Nice to see you, Adrian.
Right.
Hey.
Joe, I was just talking about him, Anachronic Comics. And I will see him Saturday. Can't wait to meet Joe in person.
Fabulous.
Nice.
Joe, I can't wait to disappoint you, buddy. Let's see. And the chat is hopping. Pocan Joe's here, another great person in our community.
Pocan Joe.
Right? And you can just call that guy out of the blue. He picks up for you. He answers. I called him a couple weeks ago. He's like, yeah, what you need, Gary? Bridezilla, thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate seeing you. Hello. And I think that we are actually caught up for the moment. So we are going to... Oh, the Jackson Roy Kirk is here.
Jackson.
So,
now you hit the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, they have, Jackson. They have, yes.
So I feel, and before we go past Jackson, so this week I got an A-OK from the Jackson Roy Kirk and from Tina. And I feel like that's it. I've peaked as a YouTuber. If you get an A-OK from both of them in 1 week, What else are you gonna do with your YouTube? That's it. You're done. You peaked.
Oh, man.
It's
The
over.
pinnacle.
This is the last
It's
episode
over.
of the 1011.
Right?
Gary's retiring.
Shut it down. Yeah, shut it down.
How you doing, sir? My buddy Rod's Fat Stacks of
There's
Comics.
Los Cruces. There's Los Cruces for you, Gary. He's in.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
Las Cruces. We're worried about you, buddy.
He said I commented
And,
earlier. I love from New Mexico.
Yes, we have Rafaust. I don't want to miss him. Good evening, sir. Nice to see you.
Oh,
Another
what's up?
guy I got to get on the channel.
From heroes to icons.
That's
And,
Jason. Jason from over in Long Island.
Okay.
All right, so we are. Oh, and of course, one of my other
Jerry.
favorite people, Jerry the Jitterbug. How you
Another
doing,
Long
Jerry?
Islander. Yeah.
All right, and I
Thank
think
you all for coming.
we are
Yeah.
finally caught up. A big turnout just to see you, Raul, and well deserved, sir.
I don't know.
why
We'll
don't we
see
start
about
out?
that.
Let's
He looks a little stressed, Gary.
I
We'll get
always
that
get
done.
stressed, Roger. I'm always stressed, dude.
Look, you can just grab one of those books off the wall over
They give you a
there.
virtual
I'm
massage
good.
there, Raul.
Hey, we got Chicago Chelsea in the just jumped in, man. What's up? One love from Chicago.
There you go, Chicago Schultz.
Hey, Chicago Schultze, yeah.
Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
All right. Okay.
Wait, how are you nervous, Raul?
I always get nervous, bro. I'm famous for being
You're a
nervous.
pro at this.
I am. You know what? The hardest thing to do is get those books in the order I wanted to show them. And then it was like, oh man, do I have a story for every book? And I don't. Some of these are just special books to me. So
That's okay.
That's all that it needs to be.
Yeah.
okay, all right. So I haven't overthought.
You just say why it's special. It has like a great fight scene, or just you dig the story. That's all.
Okay, we're good. I'm good.
Right.
All right. Stress level down.
All right.
All right. First book.
Yep.
All right. This was not my first book. It's my first book today because I got this book today, and I went to visit shops, and one of the shops is Brian Take the Time Collectibles, where the shop that he runs Phil's comic shop, old school comic shop. It's just pretty much. I freaked out today. They had two pops there. I was like, "What are you?" I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I didn't mention anything, but I was like, "What? He's got two pops. Why?"
You're
And
off brand.
So
Yeah,
I put
all comics in there. That's
it's
true.
just comics. So he gave me an A-OK today, and I it just happened today, so I have to share it. I shared it on Instagram, and it's part of the. Sometimes you get an A-OK, and it's like all I could say was thank you, man. And he gave me a shout.
Nice.
It's a great.
Skull cover.
Wow.
Steve
You say
Smith
that's an amazing
publication,
skull
good stuff.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
glow in the dark too, or is it just drawn that well?
no, it's just drawn that well. It's from 1945, man. Who does that? You know, it just blew me away. I'm into the skulls, and he just. What can you say, man? You know, love this community. Thank you, Brian, man. I
Kelly's got it right. That's gorgeous.
Yeah,
It's
Brian is
amazing.
a great guy. I've met him a few times, and
he's just
so
amazing.
helpful, and just so gracious. Definitely going to go back to Phil's next time I'm over there.
I hadn't been there in a couple of months, and it was like, hey, I got something for you, man. I got it here because the last time I went, and I didn't know you were coming, and it was just, I was like, what are you saying?
What
Man?
great shape for how old that book is. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad was 7 years old, man.
Yeah, look how well that presents. And the art is so good. It looks like it glows in the dark.
It does, man.
It's really clean.
It's a beautiful book. It's the thought, though. It's just
It is.
Yeah, Brian's got a great Golden Age collection, by the way. If you have to follow him on Instagram, he's posting his stuff every week or so. Amazing
books, man. So I had to put that one first. Okay.
All right. There you go.
All right.
Breathe easy. Go into number 2.
The ice has been broken. You're good now.
The ice is broken. Okay, this next book is a modern book. No story behind it, except when I read it, it blew my mind like I was 12 years old again, reading comics for the first time. And it's House of X #2. And it just has that story with Madeline Pryor, not Madeline Pryor. Oh my god, now I can't remember. I cannot. But it's
Somebody on the channel picked you up.
What's X-Men 96? What's the first appearance of who's in X-Men 96?
More McTaggart.
More McTaggart. And this, and this is where Jonathan Hickman changes her whole. She has a mutant power, and she reveals it to Professor X, and it's my mind was blown. I was like 12 years old again. I was giddy when I read this book, and I just wanted to share. I got a couple of modern books, but this story is up there with all the stories I've read. This issue is fantastic.
And it was nice to see Nora get something. She's been an X character so long, right? Just to see her gain some importance in the universe.
Right.
And it's so well done, man. It's so well done. If you haven't read this, you got to read this.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
I'm going to write that one down.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent book. All right. Now, can I just jump, or how long does this show go for? About an hour? Because I'll probably be done in 5. All right.
You're good. You're good. Take your time.
Let's just talk about something else. You make me
set the pace, Raul. You can set the pace, buddy.
We'll talk about something else. All right. Okay. X-Men. Another X-Men book, and this one is my favorite all-time X-Men cover. And again, I was kiddie when I got it. I actually had it signed by Chris Claremont. I would love 230.
Just kidding. That's my favorite one.
This is my favorite cover and one of my favorite issues as well, because it's just a drag out fight scene with Wolverine. It's 140, man.
Nice. It is nice.
Yep. I love this cover. I love the little baby that she's carrying there. I like the X-Men in the back. Right. You know, you see Nightcrawler. What was her name?
Alpha Flight's all over the place.
Snowbird, man. Snowbird, Guardian. And this is like, you know, when you're a kid and you start getting into comics, it's like, bro, that book sucked. There's no fights. Nobody was fighting in that book.
It's all dialogue.
It's all dialogue. This issue is pretty much wall to wall a fight, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, Byrne did a great job on the interiors of that as well.
Yeah.
Right. I was saying, this is John Byrne, baby. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
And I would like how Chris Claremont signed in the trade dress.
Oh, it don't bother me.
No, I said I liked it.
Oh, you liked it. Oh, yeah.
I like it there.
Just he signed
not in the art.
Yeah. Don't mess with the cover. Just put it right up there. That's where you want. If they're not going to put it on the inside, and you're going to you really want it on the outside, that's where you want to put it.
I got a Spider-Woman 18 signed by him in the trade dress, the first Siren. So
nice. I went to Heroes and I brought up like a stack of books to get signed. At the end of the day, I didn't get anything signed, but I wanted everybody, if I was gonna do it, I wanted them to sign it inside. I think I'm done with cover. I'm not a signature person to begin with. I got this because it's one of my favorite. And there's another book here that there's 2 more books that are just my favorite books, and I had those signed. They're staying with me. My kids could do with them what they will once I'm gone. Okay, but right now, always with me.
What's cool about that too, Raul, is that Wendigo was the first villain that Wolverine took on, and here he comes back and faces him. And
right,
great point, man. Yeah, you know what? I hadn't thought about that. You're absolutely right.
Well, what are we going to see Wendigo in a live action? Right?
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be great.
Okay,
how so important with some of the big keys, right? And you haven't seen him in a movie.
Yeah, you never hear of him. Yeah, you're right.
What's the right way to say it?
Wendigo
or Wendigo? Wendigo.
I say Wendigo. There's no N.
There's no N. Wendigo.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll still say Wendigo. I don't care. I'll still say Wendigo. All right.
I think that's an animal, a dog or something.
Dingo from
Wendigo's a dog.
Wendigo. Come here, Wendigo.
Wendigo. Hey, where's my little Wendigo?
Giant snow dog.
Australian dog is Dingo. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Next. This next book, I bought it at a con. Wasn't not expensive at all. But it was expensive when I was 16 and it came out, I think.
Yeah.
And it came out and I could never find it. I would always get the number 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's a 6 issues, but I could never get number 1 until I got it as an adult. And I sent it to get slapped just because I love it. And that's Aliens. Number 1.
Oh man, nice.
From Dark Horse.
Yes.
This was so hard to get when you were a kid.
Agreed.
Yes.
It,
Oh yeah. No.
it just blew up. And I loved it, and I never had enough money to get the #1 until I got a little bit older. So that's why I'm sharing this book. It's nice when you're a little older, your kids are gone pretty much, and you got some spending money, and it's like, okay, now
Right.
You treat yourself a little.
you treat yourself a lot. Bro. You treat yourself
I just recently got that book as an A-OK with the first Predator as well.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah, One Shot
Nice.
Comics on Instagram sent them to me.
Nice.
That's crazy.
That's
The
the way to do it.
community, man, it's amazing. But I love this.
Yeah.
I have like a collected hardcover of it, so I get to read it. It's not like I don't,
Right.
but that book is.
Yeah, that was a hot book back in the 80s. Very hot book.
I got the collection too. It's a nice little collection, right? The
Yes.
format's great.
Right.
Yes, it's very nice.
That's 'cause that movie went
Okay,
crazy.
I'm sorry.
That's because the
One of the
movie
best.
went crazy. It was awesome. I mean, that's why it was so hot back
I'm
in
a
the day.
fan. I'm a super fan of Aliens. The
I'm
first two. The first two are.
Yeah, the first two are my favorite.
I like number
rest-
4 too. The third one was the worst one. It was just
Third
the
one was-
CGI was horrible. and
I've
the
probably seen
story was
Aliens like
garbage.
20 times, Raul. I can see it over and over and over. It's so good.
It's one of those
Absolutely.
films, right? It's one of those films. You get to
Yeah.
see it over and over.
And I like
um,
what I like that Alien, Predator, and even Terminator back in the day did.
Mhm.
All those first entries are sci-fi horror movies.
right.
They're not sci-fi adventure,
Right.
they're sci-fi horror. Then they became action adventure movies in their second installments, but their first outings are all horror movies.
Which one do you guys
It's kind of a
prefer?
fusion.
Let's just with Aliens. Which one do you guys prefer, the first or the second?
First,
Second.
Too. Just because Bill Paxton carries that movie is
Yeah.
hilarious.
It's over, man. It's over.
Game over. Game
I love,
Game over.
I
Yeah.
love the first one, the way the crew doesn't get along at all. There's always tension. Nobody on that ship respects Sigourney. They're all worried, and there was so much realism in it, right? You have
Good
these people
atmosphere in the first one, I have to
They're
admit.
worried about their pay. They're arguing about getting
Right.
extra money. It's like they had a lot of down home stuff in that first one that they don't get
Yeah.
credit for. It was just a
True.
good horror movie. And
That's #1's for me too, man. I think it's so well done. It's you nailed it, man. All those little things, right?
yes,
Yeah, they're both great to me. I mean, I could see both of them anytime, but
no,
to me,
definitely,
2 is a
definitely.
slightly better. It has a better cast and it has a much more action filled. But
Hey, she
But
fucking
they're
with
still
the
good.
daggone robot thing, the
Bishop.
the,
Bishop.
loader and whatnot.
yeah, and
Like,
the
holy
Sigourney and the loader. I mean, that was a
Yeah,
great
Bishop
scene
was
there.
the
Man.
best.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
the
Bishop
best
was
of
amazing.
them. And I don't know if you're reading it, Raul, but the Alien and Predator books at Marvel right now are really pretty good, in my opinion.
I have not been reading anything.
Oh, the
new.
stories.
Yeah.
This last Alien story has been so good with the family at this colony, and then they're working for this company, and the mom's pregnant. The dad had an accident. He's only got one arm. They have their daughter, and they're digging, and they find a face hugger in the ice. So they have it in there, and they're going to study it. The mom's there, and they go to report to the company that they work for.
Huh?
And Wayland Yutani found out that they found the face hugger there, and they bought the company. And then they show up with all their people to take over the place. Freaking hell breaks loose. The aliens are free. They're destroying people left and right. You got this family unit in the middle trying to survive. It's really
That
good.
sounds great.
It is. It's
That sounds
fantastic.
good. Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
really good, man. It sounds like it's almost got like the whole.
The daughter was trying to save her mom's research and put the frozen face hugger in her backpack, not knowing it would fuck onto her, right? Well, it's just crawling out of her backpack, and one of the Wayland Yutani people catches her, and they go to pull her, and the backpack rips open and just right on the guy's face, and that's it.
Nice.
Oh man.
Bro, Gary, you just told us of a comic book you read, and it sounds like a movie, bro. How
I
awesome!
was just saying they're doing good, and no one's paying attention to it because it's at Marvel, right?
It's like a screenplay.
How awesome is that? It sounded like you just saw a movie and you're talking about something you read. How cool is that?
Right? Oh, so good.
It's almost like you
Oh
saw
my
the
gosh, I missed-
pages, you saw the panels move, right? It sounds
Right.
like
Right.
it. That's great. That sounds
we
awesome.
always got to say hi to Katie. How you doing, Katie? Nice to
Hey,
see you.
K-pop.
That's not K-pop. That's not Katie. That's Turtle. Turtlelicious.
Right?
Yeah, that's Turd.
I'm all messed up and I say
All right.
All right,
My
that was great. So we all nerded out over Alien.
Okay, we nerded out.
Yeah.
Over. All right, this next book is, like I said, I'm not a signature. I don't get too many signatures, and honestly, it's like I think I have that anxiety. Once I get there, it's like, oh man, I love your stuff. Good. It means so much to me, and I'm out. Okay, it's like I don't know what the hell to say, bro. I met Jim Starling once, and he's my all-time. And my wife and my daughter were just laughing because they were like, bro, he's like 6 years old. He doesn't know how to talk. It's like we walked into the con and we were just walking in and he was going by setting up his booth and he had like a little thing that he was, wheeling behind him. And I'm like, that's Jim Starling. And they were like, what the hell's wrong with you? Yeah, that's why I don't do signatures, because I don't know what the hell to say to them. And
Hey, a real quick interruption.
Uh-huh.
Happy birthday, TM Nerdy.
Happy
Happy birthday.
And Callie. They were both yesterday, I believe. Both of them.
And Callie. Happy birthday,
Right.
Callie.
Happy birthday. And Gary was a few days ago as well. So happy belated birthday to you.
That's
Awesome.
right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right.
When you get to a certain age, you want to forget those birthdays. But anyway.
I hear you.
Hey, I'm almost there. So going back to signatures, this is the only time I ever met a creator and had it witnessed by CGC, and so I could submit it, right? So I could submit it.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about being even more nervous. I was holding the book. The lady was the witness came with me, and and then it came back, and it's a great modern story. I freaking love it. I hope it does get made into a movie, which of course they've said that it was. But it's Lady Killer #1. This is a fantastic story. It's by Jolie Jones, and she signed it right there. That's her signature in the dress. So it takes nothing away from the cover. But this story is basically she's a suburban housewife, but she's actually a hired killer, and it's fantastic. And her art is amazing, and she was super sweet. And I think she saw how nervous I was when she would, because it was one of those kind of things.
Tongue-tied.
Yeah, tongue-tied, and it came back a 9.8. And I was one of the books that I submitted that I was like, please come back a 9.8. Please come back a 9.8.
Yeah.
Please. And I was overjoyed when it did. And it's already been maybe like 5 years since. Well, I'll tell you right now. She signed it in 2018, so it was like right when I got back into comics.
Yeah.
So
That's Dark Horse, huh?
This is Dark Horse, and it's a fantastic
right.
story. I actually have the hardcover too, because I absolutely.
That was my next question. Can you find it in hardcover?
Yes, it's this.
All right, I will look for it.
It's this right here. And there's 2 series. That's the first one. That's the first of the first. That's the first one. But there's actually a series 1 and a series 2, and it's collected all in this. Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, if she was Cuban, she could kill anybody with a shoe.
And so was Jolie Jones. She's very cute too. So that has something to do with it too. That I was nervous. But yeah,
See, that's the other hard part about doing this show, Raul, is every show you're making notes and you're buying new books.
I know, man. You're killing me because I've already got like the House of X down, and now and honestly, I haven't read any X-Men in ages. But you fascinate me with that Maureen McTaggart now, so I may have to dip my toe in. That's probably on hardcover somewhere.
Yeah, I have not read a lot of modern X-Men. I read those 2 when it came out, and it's by Hickman, and it was fantastic. Especially that issue. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. We're on to the next one. How many books we got? Yeah, I got a few left. All right.
I think so.
Well, you're only at number 6, buddy.
I'm at number 6?
Yep.
Okay, I hope I counted right, man. I might have more books anyway. There's so many people that in this community that have amazing collections, right?
I mean, lots of comics. Chris, how you doing?
Massive monster books, and you're like, man, I'll never. but every collection is amazing. And the reason every collection is amazing is because there's certain books like you remember exactly when you got them. You're surprised when you get them for a great price, when you're not expecting them, when you're with your friends,
right?
When your friends find the books for you. It's so many variables. This is one of those books. I'm a huge Silver Surfer fan. There's a lot of variants, modern variants, and you don't see them often. I was at SuperCon here, and I was with my friend Cookie and my friend Richard, my childhood friend Richard. And me and Cookie were just in a little booth off to the side, nothing big. And I came across this book and I almost freaked out because I hadn't seen it. I wasn't expecting it. It's not a crazy book, but it's not a book that I see a lot. What's up, who dat? And it's Silver Surfer #2 from some strange volume. It's a 1 in 50 variant. And I found it in a box, and it was a 9.8, and I was like, "Wow!" Nice. I was like, and it's not it's an expensive book, but it's not, it's not a freaking AF-15 or anything. But it's just hard to find.
Right. I've never seen that cover.
It's just
I haven't seen it either.
It's just a gorgeous.
Was that already
cover.
slabbed?
It was already slabbed.
Okay, yeah.
It was
awesome,
and it was just in a box with some other slabs. I was not, just a lot of modern stuff, and I popped it out, and I'm like,
right. I love the lettering. It almost has that lettering. Almost has like a 50s vibe to it, with the surfboard in the background, and then the simplicity of him just standing on the asteroid. Like, what's up? I'm trying to decide how I'm going to catch the wave. He's looking out into the sky.
Yeah, he's looking out there. Like,
it is. It's a great pose, right?
Yeah.
You nailed it. That's exactly the vibe that I get. That's exactly the vibe.
He's a surfer dude on an asteroid.
On an asteroid.
Right, he's waiting for that, where he's going to go next.
Wave to come by.
And man, you nailed it, dude. It's just it's like Beach Blanket Bingo kind of stuff, or the Beach Boys, or
absolutely. It's beautiful.
All he needs is a net Funicello on the next asteroid.
Exactly. This is Frankie Valley. Was it Frankie Valley? Frankie Avalon?
Yeah, Frankie Valley and net Funicello.
And net Funicello. So that's what this book, and with my friends, and just like me and my friend Richard were hanging out today, and he's like, "Oh yeah, remember last year you got that Silver Surfer book?" He doesn't know what it was, but he remembers that I got it with them, and it's those little memories that you don't think mean a lot, but when you see a book, hey man, this is where I was when I got that.
Right, it takes you right back to that moment.
Yeah,
it's just another one of those characters, right? Like that's a character that still shouldn't work today, with a surfboard. But there's something so iconic about. He's simple, and every time you see him, he looks good. Like it's hard for an artist to mess him up. And if an artist messes him up, they had to go out of their way to do it. But you see so many iconic surfer covers.
But he's still not easy to draw. It's still not easy to draw when you think about it. The silver.
It's so smooth.
Yeah. You gotta. But this is one of my favorite books.
You have to have a good sense of the human body and positioning. And I mean, there's some people out there that are artists that just can't do that. They're used to, there was somebody I was talking about the other day saying that, this person's amazing at drawing like Transformers. He's very good with the blockies and the squares, but if you ask him to put up like a human figure, can't do it. He just can't. He can't do it.
It's not easy. It's not easy, man. It's a gift. It's a freaking gift.
Yeah,
it was a gift. All right. All right. How many books do I got left? Number 7. Okay, let me see real quick. So this is 7. 8, 9,
yep.
11. Oh, I'm good. All right.
He's got 25 underneath.
No. I counted right. You don't know how many times I counted this just to be.
Okay. Counting to 10 can be tough.
Okay.
Yes.
This book is another book that when I got into the hobby, and I was still learning how everything worked now because I had been gone for like 20 years, and I went to a con, and Phil from Brian's, he's the owner of the shop, had a booth, and this book was like semi on my radar. I hadn't seen it before, and the thing that caught me about this book is he had a sticker. They put stickers on. This is the only time I've seen this though. It said front 9.8, back 8.5.
What?
What does that mean?
Somebody didn't understand comics, huh?
No.
That's the only time I was like, wow, he's being really honest. You know, it's like he's letting me know the front is great, the back has some issues. Needless to say,
Lord.
I bought it and it came back a 9.8. And it's not a book you see often. It's Liberty Meadows.
Oh, wow.
And it came back a 9.8. And I think I had CGC press it and clean it. And it wasn't that, I guess it wasn't, the back wasn't that bad, and it came back a 9.8, and it's not a book you see often.
I was gonna say you never see those.
No, you never see this, and this is number 1, so this is pretty freaking cool. And I'm glad I'm glad it came back a 9.8. It means it's crazy.
Nice.
So I've never seen it. I haven't even seen it in their shop them do that again. So I don't know. I guess it was a one-off. So just wanted to share that. All right. What time is it? Okay, we're good. All right. Okay. This book, this copy, I got riding bike with my friend Richard that I mentioned today, that I was with him today, that we would go riding bikes in Hialeah, and we would stop at every bodega, and we knew every bodega that had a spinner rack or had a rack of books, a magazine.
Those were the days, man. Those were the days.
Yeah.
And we would ride bike. Hey, man, I'm going to go in. You stay with the bikes. Next time you go in, I'll stay with the bikes.
Yeah, I'll stay with the bikes.
And all that, right? And I got this book from that rack, and it was, I'll tell you exactly, it's on 49th Street, right by Hialeah High and 50th. It's right there in the corner. And I read this, and I was like, wow. And it took me like an hour to read it, bro. It's X-Men 149. It's just a regular X-Men. I became an instant X-Men fan. Claremont with his writing, it was like reading a book, a novel, because he wrote, it takes a while to read these.
Right.
And I was
that's the difference. Yeah, that's the difference between then and now.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these books now I'm done in 4 minutes. I'm like,
5 minutes, yeah.
Let me read it again. Did I miss something? There's just no words in it. And
nothing.
Claremont would write a story, and he wrote the long game. So what you're reading now may not be applicable for at least 5-6 more issues, and you're like, holy cow, man, this is crazy.
His subplots were set up years in advance sometimes.
Yes.
You in.
And the artwork on that series then too was incredible. No matter who was on the book, they were capturing the essence of the characters.
Yeah,
right.
It's
Cockrum and Byrne killed it.
This was Cockrum, and it was just dynamite, dude. And I just fell in love with all the characters because I didn't know these. I had seen them, but I didn't know who Nightcrawler exactly was. And Colossus was my favorite character. I freaking love Colossus. I just fell in love with the X-Men, and then it was just, okay, now we gotta find X-Men books. And then I just, from this issue, I started collecting and boom, 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 and following the story. And then it was getting all the burns that took me a while, because this was super hot back then. X-Men were it. And
I love the blues on that cover.
It's not a book you see often, man, but it's a great story. I think it's Callisto's in here. I haven't read it in a long time, and they're like in a cavern. Like, this is Callisto, not Caliban.
Caliban.
It's Caliban, and they're in a cave, and it was just fantastic, man. It just blew my mind reading it as a kid, man. And I love this book.
I never read that one. So I want to seek that one out.
Is that Claremont's signature too?
And I got a Claremont signature because this book to me, this is the one I got off the rack, so it means a lot. It's
interesting that you got a direct edition off that spinner rack.
It was off the spinner rack.
Yeah, because sometimes that did happen. They would ship direct editions instead of newsstands if they ran it in newsstands.
A little Cuban bodega. Yeah, Roger. It was just a little Cuban.
I know what you're talking about. I've been there before. I know what you're talking about exactly.
There, man. It's a little hole in the wall, man. But
it's nothing. It's a little nothing. Yeah.
They had a spinner rack, bro.
Yep. I bought comics from there. Yep.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So we were talking earlier, Raul, the guy who gave me when you brought up your alien one, I told you I was A-OK, the alien and the predator one. Right. It was from this guy right here.
Nice.
One
shot. Nice going.
Well done. Well done.
Another Nick in the community of the hashtag Never Enough Nicks.
Nice. Yeah. Roscoe, Colossus is the best, man. I freaking love Colossus.
The best.
Now, let me ask you a Colossus question, though, because I find this is.
Just don't put me on the spot, man. You put me on the spot. I'm gonna put you on the spot at the end.
This is not the hot seat, Gary.
It's not the hot seat, Gary.
It's another show.
This is a what-if question.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Colossus, when he steals up, right? I always thought it was funny, and I always thought, especially it entered my mind in the modern era when he has his beard, right?
Not my favorite. Not my fave.
Every time he steeled up, wouldn't he just make himself bald because the steel would cut all his hair off his body?
Oh,
bro! Wow.
Yeah.
Is this just turned into whack comics or something?
Yeah, I think so.
No, but like if he steeled up, like all the hair would go, right?
It's comics, Gary. You got to just go with it,
Gary. Gary, too much time, bro. Too much time.
Yeah.
I had to ask.
Too much
time.
Number
9, Raul.
All right. Number 9 is
Oh, Roger, you're going to be thinking about that later tonight, don't you?
You know I am. I'll find some way of justifying it too.
Oh, what's up, Super Russ? What's up, Hulk Collector?
Hey, Russ.
Hold on. What's going on? All right. This book is like probably the first book that I read, and it just really got me into comics. And I was old enough to read it when I got it, and this is the original one as well. And I got this one signed by Jim Starlin, and I just love Jim Starlin. He's on my Mount Rushmore. I'm so happy he's getting, he got the kudos for Endgame and starting Thanos and all that.
Right.
But it's Marvel 2-in-1 annual. I've shown this book a ton, and this is the original. It's read to death because I read this a ton, and I just love this story, man. And it's a two-parter,
right? That's a key, though, I think, for something.
It's the death of Thanos.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a death of Thanos. It's a two-parter with Avengers Annual 7. 7?
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is the conclusion. And I hadn't read the Annual 7 for years. I mean, I
think
didn't
I have the Avengers. I don't have it.
Yeah, I had read this, but I had never read the Avengers 7 until I bought it, read it. And, okay, but this alone is a great freaking story. And
agreed.
And floating heads. There you go.
Floating heads.
And you know what? If it's Marvel Team Up or Marvel 2-in-1, you can never go wrong.
No.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Aren't they so good?
Yeah.
I spent a whole year just doing the team ups. Like I collected every team up from 1 to 150 and the annuals just because I love that they encompass. You get no more 2 issues and the story's over with. They don't cross over. They don't go nowhere. They stay right there.
Yeah, there are a few exceptions. There's a crossover between Marvel 2-in-1 and Marvel Team Up a couple times.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to 7 different titles to cover.
Yeah.
They had a couple 4 or 5 issue arcs, right? Because they had the Spider-Woman story, which was 4 issues.
Yeah.
And then they had the Pegasus Project, which changed
Moon Knight. That was like
Wondar to the Aquilarian or the
Aquarian. Yeah. And they also had the time travel story when he went back to the Pilgrim era, with Cotton Mather, and he went forward in time all the way through to Deathlock.
But the
Deathlock
Marvel, that's the Marvel 2-in-1, right? You're talking about Marvel Team Up. I was gonna say the majority of the Marvel Team Ups, though.
Yeah, or
one offs. Yeah.
They're like 2 issues at best, and then you're done.
Yeah.
I mean,
the vast majority are. You're right.
I preferred Marvel 2-in-1 because I think putting the Thing in it was just perfect. Him being the continuing character was just perfect. The character and everything, amazing.
When he could still have a cigar.
Yes,
right. And he had the best personality. I mean, of all the Fantastic Four, he was the one that could carry his own book. It sure wasn't going to be Mr. Fantastic. Sue Storm was too busy being a mom, and Human Torch.
Human Torch had a series of Strange Tales, but it wasn't nearly as in depth. Coincidentally, tomorrow I'm dropping a video on Marvel 2-in-1. You guys may want to see it.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. All right. So how many do we got, Gary? 3?
You're now on number 10. Yep.
I got number 10. Okay, number 10. Oh, I didn't even take it out of the bag. Give me a second. All right. This book is my
No
favorite.
pressure, but this has to
read.
have a really long story.
No, the
Yeah,
next
that's
one's
the next one.
the next one.
The next one. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm
And
sorry.
the story's
can
not
be-
that long. It's just meaningful. It's just meaningful.
Okay.
So I'm just all right. But this book was another AOK by Unruly Samian Lane, and it's when you get a like an AOK and it's like, oh shit, this guy thought about it. It's pretty freaking cool. You know, it
Right.
makes it.
Yeah.
They're all special, but that one was, those make it a little bit special, more special. And who knew I love this series? And it's a modern series, and it's my all-time favorite read. If you've followed me, seen me on any other channels, I talk about this every once in a while. It's another Hickman. He AOK'd me this variant of number 1. A great book, but this is my favorite all-time read. It's East of West, and
Oh,
this
nice.
it's a special. Yeah, it's the Forbidden Planet edition. This is my favorite book I've ever read. The whole series, I think it's 50 something issues, maybe not even. It's like 40 something. Great.
All right,
story.
give me a brief synopsis of the story and make me want to read it, because
It's.
you can't just say great story. Give me.
I'm not good at this, but I'm gonna give it a shot. It's
Yeah.
set in an alternate world, alternate United States,
Okay.
and the country's been separated into different country states. But there's like an Indian state. There's a China, Oriental state. There's a
Okay.
Western state, and then it's all the politics that goes in that they're all doing between them. Because then there's like a pseudo religion, and people
Mhm.
follow that, and it's just all the dynamics with all the characters, and the characters are amazing. The art is by Dagada. I don't know what else he's done, but the art is just perfect. And then there's like a prophecy and the chosen one,
It's supposed
and
to
it's-
unite them or something.
and then it's to unite or to kill them. And then this guy right here is death. He's literally death, because then there's the 4 horsemen,
Okay.
and he's death, and that's a whole other side of the story. It's just amazing, man.
Wow.
Okay. All
It's,
right.
I'm not the best at telling the story. It's just freaking
That's a good setup.
amazing.
That's a good
I'd say-
setup.
I'd-
You gave me something to think
I'd
about.
say you were- I'd say you were pretty close. Yeah. In fact, Raul AOK'd me the first trade paperback of that.
I
Oh,
when we
did
met.
okay?
Remember that?
I do. Did I do okay?
You did okay. To me, it kind of reminds me almost like a Stephen King novel.
It is,
Yeah.
man. It's
Okay.
It's got so many complexities to it that are coinciding, and it's going to get to a certain conclusion. You just don't know what it is.
and it's great when it ends. It's a good ending. And there's this one character called, I believe it was Chamberlain, one of the greatest characters ever. He is so good, bro. He's just a scoundrel. He's
He's a real evil guy, right? Yeah,
Evil guy. Yeah. All right.
He's a scoundrel, man.
real sinister guy, if I recall. Yeah.
But thank you, Unruly, for this, man. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Chuck Hensey's asking if you've ever read Give Me Liberty. Roger, do you know what that is?
Yes,
Mhm. Yep, that's Frank Miller. Yeah,
Frank Miller, right?
It's sort of similar to that. It has that. It's a sort of dystopian future. Yeah.
What is this guy Bueller doing here?
He talks about Hialeah.
That's a true story. That's a true story.
Person
Thanks,
rooms
Jim.
share the same bed.
Facts about
But
That's
the
a true
question
story.
here is Hialeah is
Did you-
who's the big spoon and who's the little spoon when you're sharing?
Yeah.
Bueller's a big guy, so I'll give
Yeah.
it.
Bueller's a good guy.
I'm the little spoon. I'm the little spoon. He's big spoon.
Those
Yeah.
are pillows.
Oh.
All right, number 11 with a personal story.
All right. So this is number 10. This is like okay, I don't know how deep I want to get into this, but all right. Let me think. I saw Callie's, and I don't want to get like Callie's was special when he did this show. I was watching this. All right, so I'm a big X-Men guy. Back in the day, I was maybe 12, so I'm 4 years older than my brother. I was 12, he was 8. So we were both collecting, but of course I'm the big brother. I know everything at that age, he's only 8. and he was telling me, the X-Men are good. You got to look at this comic. You got to look at this comic. Comic is really good. And I started reading him, and I was like, oh my God, this comic's amazing. Right. But X-Men was like the shit. And this was the shit too. And it's still great. And it's, this isn't my original, because it was my brother's collection and I was reading his books, but it's New Teen Titans. And he turned me on to this series. And this series is right on par with nobody talks about this series, I think, as far as like the X-Men. Claremont, John Byrne is revered, right? It's revered. This does not get the love. And my brother turned me on to this.
Yeah.
It should. It should, because it's I would say it's right underneath it. I mean, like a thin layer beneath it. Wolfman, Perez, you have so much interaction with those characters, the great villains that come up, Brother Blood. I mean, great stuff.
Dude, the Judas Contract is amazing. And they built it up, 20 issues. Like you were talking about the world, 20 issues before when Terra gets introduced, and then you see what happens.
That was another long game,
Another long game,
And those two, for me, the top two, Byrne and Perez.
Yeah.
I love Byrne for certain things, but I think that Perez draws he just, I don't know, man. He takes the whole page.
Yeah.
He wants the whole page. Do you know? I mean, you look at some of those books, man. There's no white. There's nothing laying around. He takes
there's no dead space at all. Mm-mm.
No, because he wants you to have that effect.
Yeah.
Right. It's just
like your money's worth.
The Hulk Future Imperfect, when you got that whole room was just all details and like him. There was like a few people like him, right? Like Barry Windsor Smith was like that, and Bernie Wrightson did that. Bernie Wrightson filled up his pages.
And Starlin was also filled up.
Starlin would put little detail.
I think the thing about that book, though, is you watch them grow. And as a young person, you're growing and they're growing. I mean, this is where he became, pretty much became Nightwing. I mean, he was Robin, but he became Nightwing in the grand scheme of things. And they all just, man.
This is amazing. You also have the drug issues. You have Brother Blood get introduced. And when he gets introduced, oh my God, it was such a badass character. I freaking loved him. Raven's whole thing.
Trigon and that's the my favorite villain, Deathstroke. I mean, he's introduced in that series. Starfire, I don't remember her. What was her sister? Blackfire or something like that.
Yeah, it was kind of like
I thought they were gonna kill her, man. I was like, oh my Lord.
Trigon, right, Travis.
You know what was the best part of that? That was like I Dream of Jeannie, and then her evil sister.
Or something
then
like
it was Bewitched
and Sabrina. Yeah.
So it was almost in the same vein. Okay, so the story with this book, me and my brother haven't talked in 7 years if it wasn't through a Zoom meeting on a court trial. And it's just, this book means, not this memory.
Right.
Just brings me back into where we were good. And he's the only brother I have, and life sucks sometimes, and things happen, and that's all I want to say.
That's okay. You don't have to say anything you don't want to say on this show.
And that's what this book, it just brings me back to when we were kids and
happy times.
And the good times. Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought.
Now that's the thing with comics, right? I mean, they can bring you to a moment instantly.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it's fantastic.
They're nostalgia machines, essentially, to me.
Yeah.
Bro, that's basically what we are, man. We just love nostalgia, right? We're just,
it's how you keep control of like what's happened to you, right? All these memories, it's all connected.
Yeah. And we want to get the things we had when we were kids, and we want to, it's.
Yeah. Well, some of us do have them.
Yeah.
Well, Roger has all of them.
Roger has them all down there.
I never gave my comics away. That's true. They all stayed with me throughout the years. That's true.
and it's awesome, man. And they'll be with us for
Well,
forever.
they won't be buried with me, but yeah,
No,
they'll go on.
I'm pretty
they'll
sure.
go on in one form or another. They're gonna make
One form or
somebody
another, they'll
else.
go on.
I'm pretty
all right.
sure as soon as I'm gone, my wife will be exporting them somewhere, probably my brother's house or
What?
eBay.
And also, though, talk about a lasting medium, right? Like if you were a VHS collector, you don't watch those really anymore. If
Yeah.
you were, DVD, and now almost everything I watch is digital now. And even though I have a lot of Blu-rays, I never break them out. I just watch digital. But the comics, you still take those out and you open them up and you read them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where you just sit in your room and you just look around. Okay, I gotta tell you, a month ago, Roger put out a video, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's me." when you went on your tour, when your European trip,
Right.
and you made that video saying goodbye to your room,
Yeah.
bro, that's me, 100%, bro.
Like you never want to leave.
I'll
be back later.
Like when I went to Heroes Con, me and my wife did a road trip, so that was actually like a week-long trip for us.
Okay.
I sat here and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna miss you." It's like you talk to them. It's like I'm gonna miss you guys. I'll see you soon. I'll be back. I promise.
Now, the first thing
bring
you guys do
something
when you
back
get
with
home,
you.
you go back to your room and just go, oh.
Yeah,
Still here. Yeah.
It's a
Everything's
sanctorium,
you
This
guys don't understand, man. I know when stuff has been moved.
Me too.
I am.
Me too.
My cousin came here and she visited, and she was like, "Everything is so neat." And I'm like, "Oh my God, bro, I got issues, bro." That's the only thing she notices, how neat everything was. I got issues, man. I got issues. But anyway, yes, Roger, I love that video, man. I love that video.
Thanks. I'd like to say it was done tongue in cheek, but it was actually right.
Dude, it was
on the level.
On. It was spot on. Spot on.
Oh, that's
Roger, you'll have to make a video where you're reenacting Steve Martin in The Jerk, and you go and you're picking out things, going, "This is all I need."
Yeah. My chair, these glasses, yeah. My Captain America standee,
Yep.
my spinner rack. I'll put that in the backpack here.
As long as nothing blows up, okay? Nothing blows up. No oil cans blowing up. Okay?
Right.
Right. You're good.
That's right.
You're good. Gary, where are we at, son?
We are at your spec pick, your final book, sir.
Okay. I have a story for this one. This has been my spec book for a while. And I had it. I go, you know what? I'm going to put it in because it's also an A-OK from my good friend Steve Whiting. He gave it to me because he knew I was after it. And he got it. And I sent it off. And then I don't know if you guys been watching Secret Invasion? Are you caught up?
I've watched the first episode so far. I got to catch up. I really like the first episode, though.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess I'm gonna bust something. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm ruining it for you.
Spoiling.
Not at all.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Because yesterday I started watching. I saw 2 and 3, and at the beginning, 3 started, and I almost dropped my pants. Right. I was like,
wow.
But it's Super Scroll is my.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. No, you just made me more excited.
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Now we've got to see it. Yeah.
It's not as. I'm still waiting, but just it was
I'm
fun.
still upset Jessica Drew is not in the Marvel universe right now.
Yeah.
But
somebody got mentioned yesterday, and I freaked because I'm really enjoying that series. It's a lot. I'm enjoying it a lot, and it's really good. And they mentioned somebody, and Steve got me this. You had him on a couple of weeks ago. Roger, you've met him in person.
Yep.
Bro,
Sure
I went to Heroes with my wife. Like I said, we did a road trip. Steve was like, "Man, I gotta go." He drove like 11 hours with his wife, and he showed up for the first day just so he wouldn't miss it. And that meant the world to me. Steve is a pillar, man. He is He's my brother. This community, like I said, the people I've met, Steve is up there, man. I freaking love Steve. He's like a brother to me. His wife is amazing. Both our wives met for the first time. They hung out. Everything was good. I was not nervous, but I was. But they got along, and we had a blast. And now we have our own little private chat with the wives. So it went really good. So this is my spec book. That's my story. Thank you for having me on. Gary, I got to ask you something, though.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Dude, you know what? I think I would like to date you, man. Out of everybody in the community, I would love to date you. Are you single?
A bromance.
I'm going to save that for a question.
I'm answering it
you
for
can do that in
you. You know, you got those dreamy eyes, man. You got those eyes. You guys, right, Roger? He's got those Comic Head 84 eyes, right?
Yeah, listen, you know, I was considering proposing myself, but
yeah,
know,
dude.
You know.
So, well, I mean, if you're both going, then it's, you know, I'm gonna see who's the best quarter.
Yeah. How many Conan ones and Savage Tales ones can you throw his way?
Right.
Yeah. Is there a dowry involved?
Have you spooned with Bueller? Have you spooned with Bueller though?
No, you know,
yeah.
Bueller was actually supposed to be on the show at one time, and then he went on his tour. I got to get him on the show still.
You got to make it to MegaCon. You got to make it to MegaCon. We're hanging out there before Heroes, so you got to make it to MegaCon.
That's true. Yeah. So on Saturday, Joe from Anachronic Comics and Matt Woods will be in Rochester.
You beat us both.
Comic Fest.
You're cheating on me already, man. You're cheating on me already.
So many suitors. I mean, I tell you.
Dirty comic horror.
It's rough.
Wow.
I swear.
It's a rough dating scene in the comic community, I tell you.
So I'm going to have to apologize for it.
Oh my God! Thank you for having me on, man. This was
casual. You were one of those guys that I was trying to meet. That was always on the periphery that I never had a chance to interact with. That's why another reason I started a second live show. Look, I love the interview show, the In the Hot Seat. It has its own thing and it has its own special moments. But once I started this show, I love this show. I love doing this show. I really like the Hot Seat. I love doing the 10-1-1.
Right.
Cool.
There's something special when you get people talking about the books they love, and that in the places that those books take them in their life.
Right.
There's special moments that you don't capture in just a straight interview sometimes.
Right. No, this is a great idea, and it's a lot of fun. I gotta honestly say, talking about all these books, I was instantly transported back to those books, you know, and it's pretty awesome because you don't talk about that often, if at all.
Right.
And that was important to me, Ro. Yeah. I never wanted the show to be about what your most expensive book is. I don't care about that. I care about the book that means something to your heart, right? Yeah. That means something to your life. That's what makes comics special.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, at the you know, when it's all done, you know, like George Perez is gone now, right? People don't talk about his most expensive books. They talk about the books that George Perez did that moved their world when they were reading them.
Right. Yeah.
Same with like Neil Adams, right? And all these greats. Jack Kirby is just, oh, did you read this book by him? I know where I was when I read that, and
it's amazing. It's an amazing medium. It's amazing. I've been into it since I was a little kid, bro. My dad taking me to 7-Eleven and getting the Slurpee cups and going to the spinner wrap. I've told this story before. 7-Eleven, bro. I love 7-Eleven. I haven't been in one.
Yeah,
haven't been in one in a while, but that memory is amazing.
Mm-hmm. We had a gas station next to one of the places we lived at when I was a kid, and we go in that gas station, and until my parents left, I was at that spinner rack.
Yeah, man.
There was something when you saw a spinner rack. That's it. You lit up. You were like, I know where I'm going to be. Parents don't got to watch me for shit. I'm here.
That's right. You know where I'm going to be.
And you were there, man. You were looking through comics.
And I was like,
my grandparents
please
give you like,
please.
You get like $5 from your grandparents, and you're like, $5. This is going to be like $50. You buy
the whole spinner rack. for that.
You know, I'm rolling
Yeah,
up in
bro.
there like I'm a big spender. I'm about to pull all
Yeah.
these.
Oh,
things
dude.
off. Yeah.
Tell me though, you wouldn't want to take a $50 bill, hop in a time machine, and just go back 20 years,
Yeah.
Oh,
Couldn't imagine.
30 years.
Couldn't imagine, man. Couldn't imagine. Could not.
25 cents. When I started buying, there were 25 cents.
Yeah, that's when I got the 25
Yeah.
cents. Yeah, 25 cents.
And
For,
then
for $5,
you know,
Jim, you would have like the whole rack pretty much. You know, just
Right.
here.
I mean, it
Maybe
was
one of
great.
each. There you go. And have a Slurpee with
Yeah.
Super Stan on the
And
cover.
then when Roger was hungry in school, he would trade a comic for half a sandwich.
Sandwich.
Hey, we got a couple of
No,
other
I go hungry. I'm not trading my comics for any food. No way.
Hey,
Lasso
real
snuck
quick,
in on us.
we got Magic Lasso, Biggie Shack,
Biggie.
Bearded Comic Bro,
Yeah.
Aggressively Relaxing, Joel the
Guys,
Geek.
you missed
Joel
a
the
great
Geek.
show.
Poor Mike.
Let's wrap
You
it
got
up.
poor Mike in here.
Awesome, man. Thank you all for joining us, man. Thank you.
Yeah, my LCS has 3 spinner racks in it.
Oh, wow.
So I can
Nice,
every week I go in there, you can still spin it just to hear it. You know, you're like, okay.
I'm like, I don't need a spinner rack. I'd rather have one, see them when I see them. It's like,
Right.
gotta set
You
limits.
rarely see them. That's the problem.
You rarely see them. You gotta set limits
Yeah.
sometimes in this collection.
I had to get one because I haven't seen one in years and years until recently.
The last I saw one that's not at the comic shop because he has it for nostalgia reasons with stuff on it. But the last time I saw one, we had a grocery store here called Wegmans in Rochester.
Okay.
Mhm.
And when I
Yeah,
moved
we have
here
it
in the 90s, they had a spinner rack in every one that was full of comics. And then the spinner
Oh.
racks disappeared like 5 years later, and I was very sad. Because every time I went into Wegmans, I would stop at the spinner rack and go through the books.
It was just a perfect way to display comics, man. It just was in a store. It was just brought magic, and you just spin it, and every time you spin it, you saw something new, and it's like.
And that's why you couldn't get 9/8 from back then, because those spinner racks destroyed those corners when you were shoving them back in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
They would.
You were never
flap.
going to get a 9/8. Forget that. Yeah.
I'm still in shock when you see a high grade older book. It's like, how did that survive? It's
'Cause
amazing.
some newsstands had it in stacks.
Okay.
Right.
So not
And they
everything was a
probably
spinner rack.
just-
I used to buy it in a newsstand outside of Burdines in downtown Raoul,
Oh my
Miami.
God, I remember that store, the Burdines. Yeah.
And they had a newsstand outside. And the guy had the stacks out, and I would always get the one in the middle.
You knew then. You were ahead of the
You knew.
curve.
Mostly because the top ones usually had like the string. They were tied with a string.
Right, it
There
had
would be a
the-
little rip. Yeah.
Roger, do you remember? Was it Woolworth or G.C. Murphy that was down there? Remember that they had
Woolworth. There was
it
a
was
Woolworth.
Woolworth, and they had where you ate, and they had the
They had the
little.
stools and the stands and the little
That
little
was-
counter. Yeah.
That was so intimidating when I was a kid when we would go down.
And they used to have the 3-packs
yes.
on the little pegboards.
Oh, so I had a question. I just lost it. It was one for you and Roger. Damn, I wanted
What's
to
up,
ask
Ben?
you too, Hialeah.
What's up, Ben? Thank you.
Hey Ben.
Oh my gosh, what was my question? Hold on, let me see.
Take your time, man. We're
With all that humidity down there, do the comics just curl up automatically?
no.
Not automatically, but if they're left out long enough, then they will.
Long
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, they'll get
Yeah.
destroyed fast.
Like you don't leave them in a hot garage or anything like that, or forget it.
No.
Right.
No, you know what?
Right.
I never did. I've always kept
Me
them in
either.
a box inside the house. I never imagined taking them outside. They'll get destroyed.
I mean,
Because the
Yeah.
humidity down here is crazy.
Nuts.
Oh my goodness, poor Mike. Poor Mike, what's up? The Burdines. Yeah.
yep, the
I
Burdines,
called
yeah.
it Burdines the other day talking to my wife, and she's like, "What is Burdines? I've never been to Burdines. Burdines is it was like Murph. It's Macy's now, basically.
Yeah, it's like a department store.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a high end.
Store, sure.
Yeah.
Macy's brought out Burdines and they switched it.
Right.
But Burdines was
Remember Jordan Marsh?
Jordan
Is that
Marsh,
Jordan Marsh? Same
Richards,
kind of thing, yeah.
Richards, all that.
Richards,
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
All right, so now, guys, we are going to go around the horn, and we're going to find out what you all are doing next on YouTube.
You
start
couldn't,
with our
you
guest
couldn't
co-host.
remember? You couldn't remember?
I couldn't remember. I was trying so hard. I'll probably end up messaging you later if it pops
Sounds
back
good.
into my head.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So, Roger, what's coming up for you, sir?
Well, as I said, I'm going to drop the
Oh, I
complete.
remembered.
Oh, okay.
Holy crap!
Right. I know, right? As soon as Roger started talking,
Go.
It was like
Go before you
downloading
forget
a
again.
song. So Roger and I both have an affinity for a certain type of comic, and I just had to know if you had an affinity for the same type. Roger and I love the oddities, the promos, the mini, we love the odd stuff, the things that you don't find like in a comic book store. Like if I see a comic from Pizza Hut in a comic shop, I'm coming home with it. I don't even care who made it; it's coming home with me. Something weird like that, like the 7-Eleven comics. I have two of the ones that had Captain America, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, and the Hulk in it. So,
Yeah.
do you have an affinity for those weird promo comics?
I do not. Sadly, I
Wow.
do not. I cannot lie. I got. No, I don't have an affinity for anything strange. I got ruined at an early age by another kid that got comics when we were kids, and this kid was like light years ahead of us as far as collecting when we were 12.
Right?
This kid was already getting keys. This kid was already looking at condition. This kid was, his name was Jose Campos, and this kid influenced me in how I collect. And I love keys. I'm not a completist, but he got me into condition and into getting keys, and he really influenced me in my collecting, and it's never changed. It's just, that's what happens when you're young. You get influenced in certain ways, and hopefully it's a good way. And he influenced me, and I've never forgotten that kid. That kid was like, he was like an adult collecting comic books, and we were just like, we didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Right.
He's the one that got us into bags and boards, and he used to go to Sunshine, Roger. He used to go to
on Bird Road. Yep. Yeah.
I went there because of him. That kid will always have I don't know what happened to him, but that kid always has he influenced me pretty much like nobody has as far as collecting.
Wow,
and
cool.
he was like 12.
Cool.
He was like 12. But no, I'm not into the oddities. I appreciate all the oddities. I love when Roger shows them. I appreciate everybody's collecting, no matter what way they do. I don't care. It's just,
I'm with
we
you.
all love the same
100%.
thing one way or another. It's all the same. It's trying to recapture your childhood, and I love it.
It is.
Agreed.
All right, back to you, Roger, before I so really remembered.
No worries. No worries.
Wait.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's what we were doing. I forgot.
No
Roger.
worries.
Right?
No worries. Yeah, like I said, tomorrow I'm actually dropping a video showing the complete run of Marvel 2-in-1, including the 2 precursors. I don't know if you know about those, Jim.
I don't.
And the annuals. And it kind of it's a short. I think I made it in 10 minutes, so it's a quick little watch.
Wow.
Oh,
The whole
I'll be
thing in
looking for
10
that.
minutes?
Yeah.
Well, I don't
Jim,
think I
what's
can do
coming
that.
up for you, sir?
I'm going to be reviewing this Contest of Champions that we talked about before. I read it again. When we had John's Comics with Kids on last week, I buy this whenever I bought this pack at Heroes Con. I already have it somewhere in here, but I bought it and I read it again.
I love that little
off
series.
with him last week. I was like, I'm going to sit here and read this again, and it still holds up. So I'm going to do a quick review of that and put it out there. And yeah. And I also bought this one, and this will take me a little longer, I'm sure. Kingdom Come.
Very good.
So,
no one ever grabs one of my favorite series from DC back in the day that no one knows about or talks about, and that was Camelot 3000.
No,
I
you will have to do a review of that for us because you're
Love
the only one that.
Camelot.
I've never read that one, Gary. Yeah.
So
I remember
that's what's coming up on mine. It's just too hot to go out digging. I posted a digging video last week, and I was out there for 2 hours, and I just can't do it. It's just too hot. So I won't be out. I can't metal detect outside when it's this hot. I just can't do it. It's not fun.
We all feel you. We all are in the same boat.
Got to 100 degrees here today, so I feel
yeah, it's just too hot for me to do that. So this is where I do a lot of research and look for places in the fall, and I just read my comics, and
Sounds
have
like a
fun
good
with
day.
you guys.
Yeah,
So
sounds like a good day.
Digger,
You have unique taste. All right, so
I love Contest of Champions, man. I'm sorry.
me too.
Me too. Did you catch the mathematical error in it?
No.
Oh,
Read the whole thing and then catch the error.
I will.
I gotta.
See,
I'm gonna
see who
Yeah.
wins what. See who wins which matches.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
well,
So-
you know, when I was reading it, I was like, I thought that they said that. Okay, yeah, I'm going back and looking. Damn it, Roger. All right.
All right, coming up for me this week, Saturday. Not only will I have my normal Savage Saturday comic review, but you can catch me over on Stephanie's channel at Madam Blaster for coffee and cosplay at 4:30 Mountain Standard Time, which Jim and I believe is 7:30 Eastern Time.
7:30 here, real time. The Eastern time is
But
the
I'll
only
be
real.
I'll be co-hosting her show with her, so that'll be fun. She's going to be cosplaying Poison Ivy. We're going to have 5 fun facts about Poison Ivy. You're going to have 2 chances with trivia to get your name on a popsicle stick, because at the end of every month, she is going to draw a name, and whoever she draws at the end of that month gets a free sketch portrait from her of anyone they choose.
Wow.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, so that's coming up Saturday. Now next Tuesday, we have Phil's Treehouse on the 1011. Next week,
Oh, nice.
be ready, because next week's the all 1011 week.
Wow.
Okay.
Huda had to cancel his 1011
Mhm.
because they were having weather issues. So
Mhm.
next Thursday is Hudat's makeup episode. He
Nice.
will
Okay.
be on
Great.
next Thursday with his 1011. So we have Phil's Treehouse and Hudat in 1 week, so that'll be a lot of fun. And then the week after that, we're gonna have Unruly Simeon and Milt coming up as well from Flower Comics. So we got a lot coming up. But Hialeah, Raul, you got anything coming up, sir? Any channels you're coming on? Anything you're gonna put out?
I got nothing. I did we do a thing with the Florida guys. It's called Silver Age Sundays, and it's not usually on my channel, but I did one a couple of weeks ago talking about Heroes Con, and I loved it. It was fun being live on my channel and controlling, doing the chat and all that, and I had a blast. So I might be getting the bug again and doing some of that. I used to do a show called oh my God, I can't remember. Anyway, it was an afternoon delight, and it will come on whenever in the middle of the day. And it was during COVID. And Bub's Comics, Andrew,
Yeah.
he keeps bugging me. Hey, I'm at home.
Delight.
How about an afternoon delight so we can hang out? I'm at home, so I gotta do that. I just gotta pick a day, and it'll be whenever it happens. So
Yeah.
you can look out for that. But other than that, I love doing this, popping up on channels.
Well, we're going to keep you active because, as Roger and Jim can attest, once you've been on my channel, I will reach out to you on occasion to be a co-host and bring you back.
Sounds good. I have a hard time saying no. I just got to let you know. So.
Because I'll peer pressure you to hell.
I usually say yes right away. And, plus me and you got a thing going now,
Yes.
Right?
It's a whole love triangle thing.
Yeah.
With,
You don't know.
Joe
Well,
from
don't you mean
Anaconda.
quadrangle? You don't love me anymore, Jim?
I do.
Just,
I do. We just talked earlier today. Come on.
I know.
He's-
Jim and I
Jim's just a low key lover,
That's right.
He doesn't want to, he doesn't want
Undercover
to
lover.
advertise it.
Undercover lover. That's right.
There you go.
Oh, I'm going to be singing that song all damn night now.
So,
I've already got
All
it
right.
pumping in my head. All right, guys, great episode. I want to thank the chat. We had a great chat. We had a lot of people in here having a blast. The chat was great. Sometimes I was distracted by them and laughing at what they were saying to each other. Always the best time when the chat's having fun. I want to thank Jim for being my co-host. I want to thank Roger for jumping on tonight.
My pleasure.
And, coming on the show. Thank you, Roger. And of course, I want to thank Raul for coming on and being a very incredible guest. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for having me, man. This was a blast. Digger, thank you, man, for being here.
Yes.
And Roger, amazing, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. And Gary, thanks, man. This was a blast. It was a blast.
Don't worry, I'll make you go through your collection another time when you come back for a second appearance.
We'll do that. I also, man, the chat, you said it. The chat was jumping, man.
They were
Thank
on
you.
fire
guys.
in there.
It was on fire. I can't wait to see you poisoned by. I saw, what was the
Poison
comment?
ivy.
Poisoned ivy.
Ivy is the Joker of the community.
Yeah.
I love that because she was Emma Frost a couple of weeks ago, right?
yeah,
So
last week. Yeah,
Right.
last week.
So I can't wait to see what you're gonna be, Gary.
what
I'm
are you
going to
gonna
be
do?
Gary. Gary doesn't call.
Gary.
Look, there's no way to dress this up and make it look presentable in any way, so you don't try.
Oh,
You just go up and you do your job.
You're being too modest.
Very humble host.
Very
up there.
Very humble.
Yeah.
Very humble.
And that show that's Stephanie's show. That's to showcase her. I'm there to support.
Right. He's in the background.
Oh.
He's in the background.
Right, that's her live show. That's her thing. I'm a support character.
Oh my God! Look what Hulk Collector put. That'll be great for you, man. Just
Harry
do
the
it.
Barbarian.
Harry the Barbarian, bro. You gotta do it.
What do you think Gary B stands for?
Yeah.
Right.
Gary the Barbarian.
Great to see a little different side of Raw.
Gary from SpongeBob.
No, I'm not the snail, but I'm sure I could be the snail.
No, you're Gary the Barbarian. I like that.
Right. It's not the first person to call me that.
It has a ring to it. It has a ring to it.
It does.
I was known to have a temper when I was younger. But you get old and you mellow out, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
don't have the energy you had when you were younger.
Yeah, I know, right? Luckily for 53, I still do okay.
Yeah, you did great.
All right, gents, everyone, thank you so much. And as we like to end this thing, keep it casual.